Are you in the market for a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited? Are you undecided if you should buy new, used, or lease it? Well, if you stay tuned, we'll take a deep dive and figure out what works best for you. So as you guys know, the automotive industry has been a little bit batshit crazy ever since the pandemic with all the semiconductor shortages with vehicles. So it's been really tough to find vehicles to begin with. Used car prices did skyrocket because there was no more new car inventory. But I think things are slowly getting back to normal. Still not what they were pre-pandemic, but doing a local search in my market, which I just did Boston, for example, there's some used cars out there and there is some new inventory, but still not what it was pre-pandemic. So you're still going to be paying MSRP for it. So to save you some time, if you don't feel like sitting here through this whole video and going through the nuts and bolts of everything, basically I think I recommend buying a used Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. That's if you can find the exact model that you're looking for. But if you can't find it and you have to order a new one, cost difference really is not that much between buying new and used. So if you're still with me, let's take a closer look and see how I came up with this recommendation for buying used. For this video, I went with one of the more popular Wrangler models, and that's the Unlimited Rubicon. So everything you see in this video would be that particular model. And I did pull up everything within a 100-mile radius in my home market, which is the Boston market. And I took a look at TrueCar, Jeeps, eShop, Cars.com, Car Gurus, Auto Trader, and more or less everything on average is coming up with about 20, 25 vehicles available right now that are brand new. So that's what's on deal lots, and probably some of that is what's on the way to the dealership. So things didn't really change too much with that as far as supply goes. I do know someone personally who just ordered a Jeep and they're about 2 to 3 months out. So based on the current supply, I would say you're not paying anything lower than MSRP. You could be paying a little bit higher. But what's coming up on average is about $58,000 for MSRP that you'll be paying. So if you are going to buy new, your best bet probably is just to order one. If you can find a dealer that's going to sell it to you at MSRP, ordering one, you might as well just wait. You're going to get the exact model that you want and not have to settle for one on a deal a lot. Now let's take a look at some Wrangler Unlimited Rubicons. I used the same search criteria as before. I looked on Cars.com, Auto Trader, and Car Gurus. And inventory-wise, I got about 25 or so on average showing up within a 100-mile radius here in Boston. So from a supply perspective, you're kind of in the same boat. Whatever they have the list price for the used Wrangler, you're probably not going to have much wiggle room there. But what's coming up, we have some 2019, 2020 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon models. 2 years old with about 25,000 miles. On average, they're coming up about $49,000 or so. So that's a decent amount of money off for fairly low mileage. To determine the trade-in value, I use KBB.com. I seem to think they're probably the most accurate with trade-in values, so I went with them. But for your brand new Jeep, owning it after 3 years, the residual trade-in value for a Jeep that's in good condition, you're at about $40,000. And if you bought the used Jeep, and after 3 years of owning a used Jeep, you're at about $30,000. So it maintains about the same depreciation if you're buying it new or used. To summarize why I recommended the used Jeep Wrangler versus a new Jeep, I put a spreadsheet together. Now the spreadsheet doesn't include finance charges, local excise taxes, car insurance, all that stuff. That's going to be specific to, the purchaser, of course. So I left it out of the equation. This is just the actual total cost of what it's going to cost to just purchase the vehicle, how much it's going to cost to own just the purchase price itself, not all the other added costs associated with it. But basically, if you look at the spreadsheet, you can see after 3 years of owning the vehicle, you're at about $628 for used, $616 for new, and then after 10 years of ownership, you're at about $346 a month used and $389 a month new. Now, the used Jeep you're buying was only a couple years old, so you have some mileage on it. You may need to change your tires sooner than that, but as far as regular maintenance costs and I guess anticipated wear and tear, don't think it's going to be too much different versus buying it new. So that's kind of why I was leaning towards buying it used. But if you do decide to go buy it new, you're not really paying that much more for it. But obviously, if you buy something new, taxes will be higher. If you have excise taxes, I know we have that here in Massachusetts, that factors in based on the MSRP if it's higher. So I think you're probably better off just buying used if you can find it. I also have a lease column there. I pulled that information off of Jeep's website. They were advertising. They estimated the lease cost to pay per month was $590, but in reality, that's going to be higher. You're going to have all these dealer acquisition fees and all that stuff, and you don't know the specifics of what the residual cost of what the Jeep is on your lease contract. So I almost never recommend the lease unless you have disposable income. I feel like that's probably the most common people will buy a lease. So when it comes time to make your purchase, just make sure you research your market. Your market's probably not going to be exactly the same like it is here for me in Boston, but it probably will be similar. But you never know. You could have better deals. You could have worse deals, but you don't know unless you do your research. So have that info with you when it comes to time to bargain with the dealer and try to get the best deal you can get. So if you find this video helpful, just please like, subscribe it, and share with your friends and family who you think this could be useful for. And thanks again, and I'll see you next time.